Affirmations are stupid, and so are reframes, and so are those supportive statements that people say when they're trying to make you feel better. For most complex trauma survivors like you and me, affirmations or therapist reframes or those supportive statements that are made by people trying to help just leave us thinking, you don't get it. If you understood how much I've been through, you would not talk to me like that. Let's talk about it.
Start with healing one trigger at a time. You can do this.
Hi, I'm Tamara Ridge, complex PTSD survivor who's been frustrated by those same well-meaning suggestions that don't really work. I'm here to tell you that there are some really good reasons why we react that way. The first really good reason we react that way is because the trauma brain is programmed to look for threats. Affirmations, reframes, and kind comments really signal danger to us because they're asking us to stop being on guard. Let me ask you, how are you supposed to know that it's okay to let your guard down when there's a constant internal dialogue telling you that you aren't safe? That's something that people who don't have complex PTSD just don't understand. They think that all you have to do is just think positive like they do. They don't realize that it bumps up against years of conditioning that cause us to resist positive thinking because it's our job, according to our trauma brain, just to stay safe. I have a gratitude and inner wisdom journal for trauma survivors that's available on Amazon because I realize how hard it is for us to get past what our trauma brain is telling us into a place of more ease and gratitude and joy. I was talking about this in the May 4-day challenge. I made reference to this page in the journal. So it says, write a letter to your child self, acknowledge and praise them for being right, celebrate that wisdom, thank them for holding on to their wisdom, and promise to honor and follow that wisdom moving forward. Sounds simple, right? Well, a beautiful, honest member of that 4-day challenge said, nothing against you, Tamara, but my brain is saying, that's stupid. Right. It is stupid. It's the most stupid thing in the world to do if we have to stay on guard so that we can protect ourselves against danger. It makes perfect sense. The other reason why affirmations or things that give us positive feedback that we generate ourselves feel terrible to us is because of internal noise. Complex PTSD involves layers of trauma where everyday things that are supposed to be neutral, like washing dishes or taking a nap when you need to, or even saying you're welcome after someone says thank you, those things come to represent danger because your body history works with the trauma brain to keep you on alert. The thing is that internal noise has two parts. The first part is the trauma memories that are held in your body that keep your trauma brain on its toes and keep you constantly on alert. The second layer is this additional layer that says, I can't do this. I'm not smart enough. The one that came from my childhood was, I'm stupid. Or other negative self-talk that gets programmed because we weren't able to control our environment as children. So when we're unable to please an abusive parent enough to get them to stop hurting us, because we're so focused on the external environment as a child to try to keep ourselves safe, we assume when they keep hurting us that means that there was something wrong with us. So we learn to say negative things to ourselves because we weren't successful at keeping someone from hurting us, no matter how hard we try. That habit then generalizes with our trauma brain to anything that we find difficult or any new task, a task that represents a threat to our safety. And anything we say to ourselves that's positive signals the body, let the guard down. PTSD says, oh no, you don't. If I let the guard down, then that means somebody's going to get hurt. So what that leads to is that anytime we have a new task, instead of thinking, okay, let me just start this new task and let me figure it out. Let me learn how to journal. Let me write a letter to my child self, letting them know how proud I am of their inner wisdom that they knew. The reason we get traumatized is because something is happening to us as a child that we, in our child wisdom, know is not okay. We know it's wrong, but something in our environment tells us that that inner knowing is not correct. So the only conclusion we can make is that something is wrong with us, and we need to try harder or be better or be faster or funnier, fill in the blank. So what happens is it leads to this problem of confusion when we get a new task. So say, for example, the woman who was in my group this morning. I need to think about ways that I can nurture myself and be positive with myself. Trauma brain says, nope, that's not safe, and you're not good at it anyway. So the minute we start to give ourselves any positive messages, those habitual messages that keep us thinking negatively about ourselves, jump in. And that's why we can't start things. That's why we can't finish things. That's why we can't feel a sense of satisfaction that we've accomplished something good, because it's the internal noise that's too loud. What this leads to is confusion and internal sabotage. So much internal noise that it really feels impossible to know where to start your healing process. If this sounds familiar to you, I want to invite you to grab my Gratitude and Inner Wisdom journal. It's on Amazon. It's only $13, and I did that on purpose because I want you to get it and get the support you need to start to overcome some of these basic habits that are created by trauma. This book helps you develop self-compassion, and it also helps you uncover those habits that kept us safe in childhood, but that don't serve us today. The ones that are outside of our awareness, because we're so good at them, they've become automatic. This Gratitude and Inner Wisdom journal also comes with a free Facebook group and support to help you slow down to connect with your inner wisdom. And if you're not on Facebook, that's okay. The meetings are held in Zoom and recorded, and you can get them in email so that you can continue to do the work even if you're not on Facebook. Both the link to the Gratitude Journal and the Facebook group are in the links in the description below. So what's the answer to this frustration that we get when we hear affirmations, or when we're given reframes, or when we have supportive statements coming in our direction that don't feel supportive? Here's my answer. Don't use them. Don't even ask yourself to try them. Instead, listen to yourself. You know your own story. You don't have to tell the story to know it. Probably as I'm talking to you in this video, things have come up for you. And when they come up for you, the whole scenario and all of the details show up. The thing about having complex PTSD is that we get scared every day. Every day, CPTSD survivors experience triggers in the form of external events that remind us of something, as well as triggering memories. It's by following the body, by listening to those, that will help you figure out what you can say to yourself to heal and support yourself as you change the programming that got set in place because of your trauma. When your body reminds you of something in your past, stop and look at it with compassion. What did you know? What was your truth? What is the wisdom that you weren't allowed to keep for yourself? What is the wisdom that it would have kept you safe if you were allowed to speak it? Know that you had wisdom, and that wisdom is still valid today. The second thing you can do is notice when you become critical of yourself and your thoughts, and know that every self-critical thought is a trauma habit. Give yourself permission to override the self-criticism with compassion. Every single time that habit shows up, identify it and label it as not you, but as a habit that you learn to survive. I know that these things feel like big steps, and I'm here to help you succeed. All you need to do is pick up your copy of the Gratitude and Inner Wisdom Journal for Trauma Survivors and join my free Facebook group. I am a gift. It's called I Am a Gift because I want you to get to the place where you can say that for yourself. Inside the group, I have monthly 4-day challenges where I will personally help you work through to overcome the obstacles that come up when you're doing this work. I also have a free Foundations for Healing course that's also linked in the comments below to help you avoid overwhelm, learn to trust your body, give yourself permission to heal, and develop self-compassion as you move forward. I'm here to help you. And if you'd like to stay connected, please consider subscribing and drop any questions you have in the comments below. I'm looking forward to getting to know you and helping you overcome all of that stuff that you never deserve.